Thunderbolts came out like earlier. What was that? A week ago. Came out a week ago. We're headed into its second weekend, and we're gonna see how it does at the box office. However, the critic reviews are fantastic, and I watched it twice. I do want to watch it for a third time, but I loved this movie, and what they did with the team dynamic, what they did with the character work, and the writing was sharp. And I feel as though this was a really big win that Marvel needed. And you know what? Marvel took that win and said, hey, Jake Schreier, director of Thunderbolts, do you want to do an X-Men film? And that's apparently what's going on right now, as Jake Schreier is currently in talks to direct the Marvel Cinematic Universe's X-Men film. I think this is wonderful. I think Jake Schreier is a great director, not only for the Thunderbolts, but if you have seen this Netflix series starring Steven Yeun and Ali Wong titled Beef, that was really good, and it was also about characters. And well, everything's about characters. You know what I mean? It has a lot to do with character work. So I think this is a match made in heaven, to be honest. Now let's talk about the pros. Okay, Jake Schreier, he already has a lot of experience handling. He has a lot of experience handling a team. So a team aspect. And if we're being honest, we're taking all of our pros really from the Thunderbolts, because that is a superhero franchise. That's a Marvel movie. We're going to be taking that from that. So Jake Schreier is really good with balancing characters, not Taskmaster, but balancing characters. And we saw that in the Thunderbolts. One of the biggest pros for me of the Thunderbolts was the direction of clearly Jake Schreier, but the pacing. It was a two hour, like 15-minute movie, something like that, I believe. And it felt really good. It felt kind of slow, but when you realize that that's what he was going for, the pace of it was like pretty much perfect for the story, because the story, it is like a linear chain of events that happens, and then all culminates in the end. I'm not going to spoil the end, but it all culminates at the very end. So I felt like it was paced really well, and I think that that's something that X-Men needs to. They really need to hone in on a singular story, because this Thunderbolts movie does a lot to set up the future of the MCU, but it doesn't feel like that. You get those bits at the very end, like an old Marvel movie. And what Jake Schreier, did for the Thunderbolts was he focused on this singular story about these characters, and I feel like that's what X-Men needs, especially after the last couple outings of X-Men. It wasn't great. I mean, X-Men Apocalypse was not good. I did not like X-Men Apocalypse, and then Dark Phoenix was also not good. So you kind of need a win. If you want to, you can kind of look at the New Mutants, but I never watched it, so you guys have to let me know what you guys think down below of the New Mutants, because I've never seen it. So let me know. Should I watch New Mutants? Should I react to New Mutants? Please don't say it. Please don't say it. Please don't say yes. Please. So yes, okay. Jake Schreier, I feel as though he can do a very good job balancing the characters, because let's look at the characters, man. Just in this picture right here, you've got Magneto, you've got Storm, you've got Wolverine, Charles Xavier, you've got Quicksilver down there, you have Mystique. So you have to balance those, and those probably aren't even the characters that they're really going to focus on in the X-Men. Like, I don't think Wolverine is going to be in this first iteration of X-Men. I don't think Quicksilver is going to be there, because we already have an MCU Quicksilver, and he's dead. And then Storm is like a really big possibility. You got Mystique. I don't think she's gonna be like a part of the X-Men like how they did in X-Men First Class, X-Men Days of Future Past, X-Men Apocalypse. I don't think they're gonna do that. So it really just depends on the team, but it doesn't matter what team they get, because Jake Schreier was able to make a really good film with a team consisting of 3 super soldiers, someone who could phase through walls, Bob. and Taskmaster, of course. You know, Taskmaster. She was great in the movie. It's really good. Like an Oscar winning performance. Yeah. So like, I don't see a con here, really. I mean, you could really say that he's inexperienced, but after Thunderbolts, I don't know if you can even call the man inexperienced. Yes, it's one movie, but that one movie that he made was really, really good, at least in my opinion. So Jake Schreier, he is currently in talks to direct MCU X-Men. I am very curious because we haven't really gotten a lot of updates on this X-Men. This is the first piece of news that we've gotten from this X-Men franchise since the script was written. And I don't know when that script was written, a few months ago, but we're slowly getting like news again on, and we're slowly getting like a glimpse at what the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to look like. And that's weird because it hasn't felt like that in a really long time. Like, we have post-credit scenes that are unresolved still from 2021. It is 2025, and we are already getting into Avengers Doomsday, Spider-Man, Avengers Secret Wars, Fantastic Four. Like, we're getting into the big hitters of Marvel, and we have so many like smaller stories that don't really culminate to what we're doing right now. And yeah, you can kind of feel that. But if you were here for a previous episode of the show, I mean, we talked about how Marvel is focusing more on quality over quantity, and you know, the storytelling aspect is coming back. Thunderbolts has a really good post-credit scene that actually gives you insight to what's coming up next, and we haven't gotten post-credit scenes like that in a really long time. So yeah, look, am I cool with Thunderbolts director Jake Schreier being in talks for an X-Men movie? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I understand though if someone has some, you know, some feelings about it because he is a first-time director. However, I will say James Gunn, he wasn't a first-time director, but he was a very not known director, and he did Guardians of the Galaxy, and everybody loved Guardians of the Galaxy. So you never know, man. Thunderbolts director Jake Schreier, he is in talks to direct the X-Men Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section though on that. Who would you rather have? Or do you think this is a match made in heaven just like I do? Let me know in the comments down below.